You're now watching Kraftpocalypse with your host, Anna.
Hey, let's make a card together. So today I picked this 5.5 by 4.5 size card. I picked some Strathmore watercolor paper because I want to work with my watercolor pencils. The watercolor pencils I have are Sargent Art. I believe I got them some point from Hobby Lobby. They're nothing special. They're pretty entry grade watercolor pencils, and yeah. And then I have this moose lady that I want to color in. And this is a stamp by Alma Lynn Designs, and it was made by Inkianato. I think I got it from a friend at some point. I really don't know where it came from, but I kind of like it, so. Here we go. I gotta cut my mat first for my stamp, and I have a little cheat sheet here that says 5 inches by 375 that tells me how big I have to cut my mat, and I have it already. My washi tape marks where I have to cut, so I don't have to second guess. Oh, and then we definitely need something for the inside as well, so we'll cut 2 mats, and then we have a little strip left over, but we'll worry about the inside when we get there. Okay, so first order of business, I think I actually will tape this down. This is just some low, no brand, nothing, low tack tape, just so my image doesn't move when I want to stamp it. And what I'll do is I'll ink it up with my trusted Fine Onyx Black. I love using that because it doesn't move when it is when watercolor hits it, or when water hits it, and that's the goal for when you want to do watercolor. Got my rag right here. Okay, I want to move this up just a hair. Okay, so I have space on the bottom, and then I like to rub over my... Ooh, I might have just smudged this one. Let's see. Yeah, I did a wobble. Well, that's not cool. Okay. I will just put this aside. Usually I will find a use for it later, or I just flip the card stock over, but yeah. Let's just do this again. Not a big problem at all. We all make mistakes. Sometimes you can kind of correct it, but this was a little too blurry. Okay, now we also want to move her down just a hair. There we go. That's the thing with blocks sometimes, that you have to be careful that you don't wobble them when you press down. But I think, yeah, this did pretty good. Here we go. So I will put this right here. And then I have a Sharpie fine liner. I'm just gonna kind of fill in this little bit of a line right here. Just kind of give it a little bit more of definition. There we go. Not that it really matters. Okay, so let's get started on this. With the watercolor pencils, you don't need a lot of pigment to move around if you want to have a nice looking effect. I don't want my watercolor to look too oversaturated. So we'll start out with a little bit of green. This brand of watercolor pencils doesn't even tell you what the color is. So this is just kind of like a grassy green, but not too vibrant. I'll just add a little bit of gray for some shade, and so it's not too white looking. And all her fur trims. I kind of like this moose lady. I like the way she looks. I call her my moose Christmas lady. Okay, and then for her coat, we'll go with a... This is more of a dark green. And I just kind of put it in small areas. I don't go in and fully color the entire image. I try to go small, because I always can add color afterwards. And for the stars that are on her jacket, I actually have an idea. I have some sparkle ink, and I do like to keep my pencils around so I can remember at least what I've done. Okay, I do want her to have like a nice red bow. So we'll put a little bit of red. There we go. Put a little bit of red up here because it kind of ties everything down. Okay, and then her antlers, her moose antlers, I'll just put a little bit of brown right there. I like going with different sort of colors for the most part anyway, because there's really no reason that we have to follow all these rules that we think we have to. I mean, first of all, this is a moose holding a snowman and a purse, and she's having ice skates on, so, or boots, whatever they are. They're either boots or ice skates, so she will have purple striped socks or leggings or tights, I guess. And then she will have pink skating, pink boots. That's right. Pink boots. And she also will have darker pink, or, well, more, this is more of a fuchsia color. Her gloves are going to be a fuchsia color. And I'm really just, let me see, show you. I am really just adding a little bit of color here and there. You will see once I apply the water how I can move the pigment around. Okay, and then her little buddy, he will have a striking blue jacket. He will have a light blue scarf. He's fancy like that. I wonder why the moose lady has a snowman while ice skating. Fascinating. Okay, and he also is wearing a little hat. He'll get a brown hat. Light brown hat. Oh, maybe the little snowman was part of a snowman production somewhere on the lake that they live at, and she just went and picked him up. Plausible enough, I would say. Okay, she also needs a purse, and since she lives in a wintry place, I'm gonna make her purse blue. In case she loses it, she can find it again. Okay, and then she also is still wearing something around her neck, so we'll go with a little bit of green to go with her whole coat and everything else. And then I spot a little bit, oh, this comes out here. I spot a little bit of more fur right here. Okay, and I think that's all the furry bits and pieces. Yeah, I think that is good. Let me see. Let me show you. Okay, now I'll take my very trusted brush that is truly nothing special at all. It came from China. It's a size 3. And as I said, it's been well loved and it's nothing special at all. And what you'll do with these watercolor pencils, or not what, that's what I do. There's probably people who do it differently. But I like to just kind of wet my brush, wipe it off a little bit so it's not too wet, and just start moving this color around. There we go. I don't like a super overly saturated look with my watercolors. And the good thing, well, so with cheap watercolor pencils, you don't have a lot of pigment in the barrel. I think it's called barrel here in English. Yes. And so you don't have a lot of pigment in there. So there's really not a huge, unless you would color in the entire skirt part in like light green and then start moving the pigment around, yes, then you have too much pigment. But other than that, you really don't run a huge risk of having something that's oversaturated. So this dark green has a little bit more pigment, so, but I also need to cover a bigger area with it. And as soon as your brush is too wet with this watercolor pencil, with this kind anyway, it starts to just dilute so much that you basically have no color left, and then that kind of defeats the purpose. But, and I didn't really place my little patches of color too much. I just kind of randomly put them. Not entirely random, but I did not account for a lot of shading or something like that. I just did what felt right to me. I have no problem with being a little bit different. And I feel like as adults, and you don't have, there's no, I mean, it's your own personal art. Even if you're coloring an image like I do right now, it makes it your own little piece of art, and you can put color where you want to. And we don't always need to follow the rules and regulations of how something is supposed to be done, and especially not in art, because mainly for us it should be relaxing to do this kind of stuff and not stressful. Because we truly can stress over anything else, but if we start stressing over if the shading is right on a mousse lady, there's something wrong. So I don't. I just go to town with my pencils and my brush and just kind of start moving this color around. Okay, let me show you. This is the effect you get with these watercolor pencils. Okay. We'll let it. And when you keep drying off your brush a little bit, your surface doesn't get too wet either. And you don't run the risk as much of smudging something. Plus it dries a little faster, so if you have to add a little bit more color, it's a little easier. And I probably will have to do that with the boots. Maybe not. Maybe this light pink is pretty nice. We'll see how it looks with the purple socks. Oh yeah, very nice. I like it. I think we kind of learn to not trust our instincts, what colors or what kind of stuff we like as much after we go through school and all these kind of things where we're told, well, or you color an apple blue and then you're told, well, but apples are not blue. So you think as a child, well, if an adult tells me that apples are not blue, then I better, correct the color of the apple to whatever, a Granny Smith's apple, and make it like bright green. But it really doesn't matter. If you want to color an apple blue, just color it blue. I'm pretty sure there's some Chinese people that have made blue apples, and I think there's like a black apple kind of variety, so who cares? Like, really? Okay. And I just added that little bit of gray to her fur pieces so it's not too stark white. Because she did just come back from a show, so there's no way that she can keep her fur coat totally clean. Assuming she didn't just buy it, but I don't think she did. And yes, I like to make up little stories for the little images I color. Why? Because I think it's fun. It's like keeping an imagination alive, I guess. Okay, here we go. We are getting closer to being done with this part. And you do want to try to not rub right over your image with your hands, obviously. Oh, I forgot to color in her holly. She even has holly leaves on her hat. How cute is that? We gotta take that in consideration for the inside. There we go. Here we go. All we gotta finish up is her face for right now. I find using watercolor pencils is a very relaxing sort of thing for me. It really is. It's like you can't really fail. I don't necessarily think that you can fail at art to begin with, but I feel like the pressure is very low with watercolor pencils. Unless you want to create a masterpiece, but then again, define what a masterpiece is. I mean, modern art, especially modern art, but I guess the intention of the artist plays a big role in art, but my intent is to make this fun. So I want to do it again. I already have enough, we all have enough stuff that we have to do every day that we really don't want to do. Like loading and unloading dishwashers or doing dishes in general. So I don't want my art to become that too. Okay, here we go. I think she turned out very beautiful. And I forgot to, now for the fun part. I got this Spectrum Noir Sparkle in yellow. And she has all these tiny little, shake this up a little bit, tiny little stars that I want to add a little bit to. And so I'll take some of this sparkle ink and just kind of gently add it to the coat, or to her stars on her coat. At least she can be found if she gets lost on the lake that she's ice skating on, or on her way home. with a little snowman buddy. And then I'll add a little bit of the sparkle ink to that, to her purse handle. And I'll also make her trim yellow. I'll make this trim up here yellow. There we go. I do really like it. I always have to make sure that I close all the drawers immediately, because I'm very bad at dumping stuff over. Okay, here's my bin of stamps, and I have this particular set in mind. Let me find it. Where is it? It's a generic set, I think, that I got from Tuesday morning at some point. It's a Christmas set. Here it is. There we go. Let me set that back aside. What I will do is the following. I will take this stamp. It says Merry Christmas. You can't see it, but it does. And I will add it to the bottom, like so, down here. Yep, this block is too small. No, it's actually not. I just put it diagonally on there. I'll ink that up again with my VersaFine. Yeah, there we go. Press down hard, rub over it a little bit. And then 1, 2, 3. Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Not perfect. Doesn't need to be perfect. It's kind of a vintage looking image anyway. And yes, I usually do clean my stamps. But I usually just put them away until I get time to clean them. Okay, so we have the outside. We do need something for the inside. And what I'll do, since the side that you actually watercolor on the Strathmore is a little bit rough, or rough is the wrong word, but it has a little bit of texture. And since I gotta put something on the inside of my card anyway, I will use the image that I wobbled and flip the cardstock around, and I will put this Joy stamp on there. And this one also fits on the diagonal. Nice. I'm glad it does. Okay, so I will ink this up. Ink. Straighten my paper. Here we go. And I think I will watercolor this just a little bit. There we go. Wonderful. Nice and easy, nice and quick. And since this has a ribbon look, let me just take it down as well. I'm smudging ink. That's not so good. Let me wipe my hands off. But I do have a little eraser right here that can get rid of a little bit of ink. It can get rid of a lot, but a little bit. Okay, I will just go ahead and put a little bit of bright red on the outside parts of the ribbon and right here. And then on the very tails. And then in the valleys, if you want to call it valleys, I will put some of that darker red and also right there. Okay. And here is my brush. I already have put it away. There we go. I will do the same thing. I'll just start moving the color around. Go right over. Here we go. And it's fine if you color a little bit outside the lines. I mean, it's It's not a problem. It's part of the charm of handmade things. That unless you're really, 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 really good and you dedicate like all your life to it, you become perfect at something. But I don't strive to be perfect. I strive to be happy with the outcome, and I strive that I have a product or a card that I really like and that I want to give to somebody. But by no means does it need to be perfect. So I'm not a good illustrator. And I know that. I can work with color and stuff like that, but I cannot illustrate very well at all. So this kind of creating actually works perfect for me, because then somebody does the illustrating and designing of these things for me, and I can come behind and just fill it in. Okay, now we gotta assemble this, and just like always, well, maybe not 100% every time, but quite often I use these double-sided photo adhesives to put my cards together. Here we go. Please don't stick. One, two, three, four. And this needs a little bit of cleanup as well. There we go. And then here we go. Oh, and it worked out nicely with the Christmas lady on the back that I wobbled so badly. The piece of cardstock did not get wasted. Here we go. And that's it. That's the outside of our Christmas moose snowman lady, and that's the inside. I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you for watching Kraftpocalypse with Anna. Please continue to craft and keep your crafts crafty, you crafty crafter. Until next time, crafty craft.